Hi everyone, and welcome to your abs and booty sculpt. Today I am going to be using a block and some weights for this class. If you don't have these props, it's totally fine. You can do the class without them. This shouldn't be too long of a class. I'm hoping that will be done in about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. So it's perfect for those busy days when you really want to just target your glutes and target your core in a quick and effective way. So whenever you're ready, we're going to get started on the mat. So just pop your block in between your thighs if you've got your block, and we're just going to warm up through the spine. First of all, we're just going to come to the breath, so taking a nice sink into your mat and just deep breaths in and out. We just want to be really intentional here, maybe setting an intention for the class and trying to really find ourselves on our mat here before we begin the rest of the workout. Deep breathing in, allow those ribs to open up wide, and deep exhale, feel the ribs closing down. And again, breathing in and breathing out. Good. On your next exhale, so breathing in. As you breathe out, let's drop those knees over to one side, and you can allow your hands to come over to the opposite side, just in a nice, relaxed, calm manner. Good, and then breathing in, and exhale, rocking over to the other side. Nice and soft and controlled. We don't have to really force this stretch here. We're just going to relax into the body for now. Good. Over to the other side. Exhale. And one last time. Over to the other side. And then when you're ready, coming up through the center, and keep a nice squeeze onto that block. Now we're just going to grab the weights. Once you've got your weights, you're going to bring them to your chest, and we're just going to start working through some glute bridges. So we're going to have a nice neutral spine, which means that you take a nice tuck of your tailbone and try and exhale and squeeze your ribs down so that your core is engaged, and you've got that nice squeeze on the block. And you find your weight through the back of your foot in your heel. And then I want you to start to peel your spine up from the floor, one vertebrae at a time, squeezing all the way up into the glutes and rolling up until you find yourself on your shoulder. Squeeze at the top. And then rolling it back down to the floor with control to tap the hips back to the mat. Just keeping the weights at your chest for now. And just working into the glutes. Squeeze up and rolling down. Good. Squeezing up into the glutes, holding through that core, squeezing through the inner thighs on that block, and rolling down to tap. Good. Squeeze up. Control those ribs, control that core. Really taking your time here to just warm up into the body. Good, we're going to go for another 3. Good. 2. Now last one, all the way up. Squeeze it up. And now this time, as you drop your hips to the floor, I want you to push those weights up over your chest into a narrow grip chest press. And then squeeze the hips back up. Simultaneously, the weights come back down by your chest. Try to not drop your elbows to the floor. Holding this upper body at the same time as using the lower body. Nice full body workout today. Even though we're focused on the glutes and on the abs, the full body always gets worked because that's just the beauty of Pilates. But the reason I'm using the upper body here is to add stability into the core. Good, and then tapping down. Let's keep working. Come back to that core, come back to that Stability through the body. Good, we're going to go 8 more. Squeeze and tap. Good, squeeze into those glutes. Tap it down. Good, we're feeling the back of the body warming up now. Let's go 6. 5. 4. And tap. Final 3. Final 2. Keeping a nice squeeze on that block. Final 1, all the way up. Squeeze and hold. You can allow your elbows to tap the floor now. I want you to put your weight into your right leg and then extend the left leg out long, keeping that nice squeeze on the block. Bring it back down. Extend the right leg. Squeeze the block. Bring it back down and then drop the hips. Push your arms up. Good, and then squeeze it up and hold. Let's go. Extend your left leg. Bring it back in. Extend your right leg. Bring it back in and tap the hips. Push the arms. Good. Squeeze it up. Hold. Extend the left leg. Bringing it in. Extend the right leg. Bring it in. Keep those hips up and tap. Push the arms. Good. Let's go 6 more like this. 6. Breathe and controlled. Nice slow movements through our Sculpt class. It's the beauty of Pilates, is being able to move slow and actually use each rep with intention. Tap and push. Good. Squeeze. Let's go 4. Extend. We're not swinging those legs out. We're squeezing them out with control. Bring it up. 3. Nice squeeze on the block. Out. In. Tap. And push. 2. Really working that movement with control. Keeping that squeeze. Final 1. All the way up. Let's stay with those extensions. 1. 2. Keep those hips up a little bit more. 3. 4. 4 more. 4. 3. Hold the block. 2. 1. Okay, both legs back to the floor. Let's just pulse those hips up and up. Small little movement up towards the sky. Squeeze. 8. I'm losing my block. 7. 6. 5. Push. 4. 3. 2. 1. Okay, drop the hips and release the weights. Let's just grab those knees up towards your chest and just take a little rock side to side. And we'll just breathe here for a second. Good work, guys. Feeling nice and warm. We're going to move on to a little bit more abs now. Okay, so grabbing your block, if it fell out like mine did, and placing it back in between your thighs and grabbing your weights. And we're going to just work into some crunches now. So first things first, I want you to come to your abs and come to your ribs and just notice how as you inhale, your ribs like to flare open. And then as you exhale, you can close them down and engage your core. Let's do 2 more breaths like that, opening up, inhale, and exhale, engage. And then again, opening up, inhale, and exhale, engage. Okay, so on your next exhale, breathing in. And then as you exhale, engage the ribs and think head, neck, shoulders, chest up off the floor, squeeze and tap your weights to your knees. And then bring it back down with control to the floor. Again, breathing in. Try not to let the ribs open up too wide now to keep that core engaged. Exhale, head, neck, shoulders, chest. Squeeze up and bring it down. Breathing in and breathing out. Squeeze and down with control. Exhale. Squeeze up as high as you can. Really try and use each muscle in the abdomen to use no momentum and work through the muscle rather than swinging up. Good. Let's go 8. Breathing. Good. 7. Down with control. 6. And back. 5. Keep that nice intention. 4. Good. Final 3. You guys can do it. Final 2. Good. Now final 1. Squeeze it all the way up and tap. Good. All right. Coming back through down to the center. Now I want you to bring those weights all the way overhead. You might notice that it's easier to use momentum here, but I want you to still try and stay with that nice intentional move. As you crunch your chest, keep a nice squeeze on your block. You're going to squeeze your legs up at the same time into tabletop and sweep those weights down by your knees. And then bring it back. Weights come overhead, feet come to tap on the mat, head can come down. Inhale, exhale, squeeze up into tabletop and bring those weights down by your side. Nice squeeze on the block. Inhale, weights come overhead to tap. Exhale, squeeze it up. Inhale, tapping down. Abs are starting to wake up now. Keep working. Remember that tabletop doesn't come in all the way to your chest. You want to think chest towards the legs. And keep those knees just stacked over your hips. Good. Let's go 6 more. Come on, guys. 6. Tap, extend. 5. Push. Whew, I'm feeling it with you. 4. 3. Breathe. Breathing in. Final 2. Good. Now final 1. All the way up, squeeze and extend. I want you to drop one weight to the floor. You're going to take one weight in both hands. Now you're going to sweep that weight over to the left side and then sweep it over to the right side and then bring it overhead and tap your feet down back to the floor, keeping control of those ribs. Squeeze it up over to the left side. Swing it over to the right side and then bring it down with control. Weight comes overhead, toes tap down to the floor. Keep a nice squeeze on that block. Squeeze up and over to the right and bring it down. Good. Squeeze up through the center. Bring it over to the left and then over to the right and then bring it back down to tap. Squeeze up and over. You guys can do it. Let's go 4 more here. Bring it down. Squeeze it up. Keep a nice squeeze on your block. 3. Back to tap. Final 2. And down. Final 1. All the way up. Over to the left. Over to the right. And come all the way down. Take a quick little relax. Now we're going to work something that's quite fun, but also quite hard. So we're going to come straight up through the middle, again, like how we were doing. We're not going to go over to the side. I want you to think about that nice crunch. So squeezing up all the way in, bring those legs up. You're going to place your weight onto your knees, and then you're going to extend your legs out long, extend your arms out overhead. Squeeze it back in, grab the weight, and then extend long. I know the abs are screaming. Just keep pushing. Extend. And in. Careful to control the weight. It can get quite wobbly, but that's the whole point. We're trying to control the movement, to not allow ourselves to rush through. Squeeze. And out. Come on, let's push. 8. 7. Keep a nice squeeze on your block. Relax your head to the mat if you need. Otherwise, keep your chest lifted. 6, 5, 4. Nice length through those arms, length through those legs. 3, 2. It's okay to wobble. It's okay to take the modification. 1. Good. Hold that tabletop position. Hold that weight. Let's just pulse the chest up and up for 8, 7, 6. Squeeze your block. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, relax. Oh my God. Oh, that was hard. Let's just take a moment here on the mat to just breathe and allow your ribs to come open wide. Let's take 2 nice deep inhales and exhales. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Okay, we're going to bring your block down to the floor and place it underneath your right foot. Okay, so your right foot is up on the block, your left foot is on the ground. For now, you're going to grab your weight here in your hands and hold it here by your chest. Really push that heel into the block. We're going to work some single leg glute bridges. Okay, so that left leg is now going to come up to tabletop. And I want you to, again, peel your spine up off the floor and squeeze up into your right hip. And then down to the floor to tap the hips back down. Good. Squeeze up. Try and keep those hips nice and level and not hinge into one more than the other as we do this work here. Really squeeze into the glute and then tap it down. This is one of the most challenging glute exercises, but you guys can do it. You're so strong. Good. Tap. Let's go 6 more like this. Squeeze up. 6 and tap it down. 5. Tap. Good. In 4. Tap it down. Good. Final 3. Squeeze and tap. Final 2. Good. Now last one, all the way up. Squeeze, hold. I want you to extend that weight overhead. Extend your leg long towards the mat. Squeeze it back in and then tap your hips. Good, you can keep that weight up long overhead. Extend back to the hip thrust. Extend long overhead, long with that leg. Squeeze it back in. Tap the glutes back down. Whew. Squeeze. Extend. Bring it in and tap. Good, come on. Squeeze. Extend. In. Tap. Let's go 4 more here. Up. 4. Tap it down. Squeeze it up. Find that beautiful extension. 3. Bring it down. Good. 2. Extend. In. Tap. Final 1. Up. Extend. In. We're going to stay with those extensions for 8. 7. Squeeze that core. 6. Push to the end. 5. Keep those hips up. 4. Good. 3. 2. Final 1. Squeeze it in and hold. Let's just pulse those hips up for 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Oh my God. 1. Ah, that was really, really harder than I thought. But you guys did so good. Okay, excuse my collapse down to the floor. This is a reality of the Pilates class. We're going to come onto the left side now. So left foot now comes onto the block. We're going to go straight in. Take a nice deep breath and get ready. We're going to bring that right leg up to tabletop. Weight stays at your chest for now. Taking a deep breath in, and as you exhale, squeezing up into that left side, and then tapping down with control. Good. Squeeze up, and tap down to the mat. Good. Squeezing up, keeping those hips nice and level. Tapping down with control. Good. Squeezing up and finding that heat through the glutes. Let's go. 6. Really control those hips. Don't swing. Squeeze. 5. In 4. Good. Final 3. Final 2. Now final 1. All the way up. Squeeze and hold. Let's push that weight overhead. Extend that right leg long towards the mat. Squeeze the shape back in and then drop your hips. Squeeze it back up. Extend the leg, extend the arms. Bring it back in. Drop the hips down to the mat. Keep going, guys. You can do it. I know that it's burning. Squeeze. Tap. Squeeze it up. Extend. Bring it in. Control. Tap. That's 4. Let's go 4 more. Up. Extend. In. And tap. Control your hips. Control the movements. 3. Bring it down. Come on. 2. Keep pushing. It's really hard. It's hard for me too. 1. Extend. Let's stay with this movement here. 1. 2. Let's get to 8 reps. 3. Push. 4. Hips go up a little higher. 5. 6. 7. 8. Hold it there. Let's pulse it up for 8. 7. 6. 5. Push. 4. 3. 2. 1. Okay, drop the hips down. Drop the weight. And just breathe. You can hug your legs in towards your chest and just take a little rock and roll. Side to side. And just relax. Let's just take one more deep breath in. And deep breath out. Exhale. Good. And then when you're ready, let's grab behind our thighs. Take a nice rock and roll to come all the way up into a seated position. And then we're going to come all the way and find ourselves in our 4-point kneeling position on the mat. Let's just take a quick cat-cow here, dropping the belly, opening the chest, extend and breathe. And reverse the movement. Pushing away from the floor, allowing your shoulders to really open up wide and separate the shoulder blades, pushing away from the floor. Inhale, dropping the belly, opening the chest, bring the shoulders down and away from each other. And exhale, pushing away and extend. Good, and then dropping down, opening up, extend and breathe in. And pushing away from the floor. Good, okay, coming into a neutral position. We're going to work some 4-point kneeling extensions, so these ones are nice and fun. I want you to pop the block underneath your left knee for the time being. You're going to have your hands on the floor, and then you're going to have your right leg out, extended, long, straight behind you. If you would like to come to your elbows, you can come to your elbows. Otherwise, stay up here on your hands. Keep a nice long spine from all the way from your tailbone through into your crown of your head. Now, when you think about lengthening that right leg away from you and lifting up at the same time, but try not to swing it up. Really squeeze up with control and then tap back down to the floor. Good. Squeeze up and long and away from you. And then tapping down with control to the floor. Good. Extend it back and squeeze into that glute. And then tap down with control. Nice, strong through the core. Always come back to your core. Your core is your anchor. Keep soft through the elbows. Keep soft through the shoulders. Good. Squeezing up and tap. Good. We're going to go 8 more like this. Squeeze up. Tapping down. Good. Squeezing up and tap. Let's go 6. Squeeze. tap. In 5. Breathing good. In 4. Final 3. Final 2. Really thinking about that length. Don't worry about the height. Get the length before you get the height. And 1. Holding up here. We're just going to pulse that leg up and down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Holding the leg up. 1. Now you can come down onto your left elbow, but keep your right arm up where it is and open up those hips to the side. Now you're going to tap that leg down on the diagonal. And I want you to extend it out long and use the side glute to lift up this time. Good. Tapping down with control and then squeezing up to the side. Tap down to the mat with control and then squeeze up, lengthening that leg. Tapping down, lengthening and squeezing the body. Good. Holding that core nice and still. Let's go 6. In 5. Breathe. Strong through the core. In 4. Extend and tap. 3. Bringing it down. Final 2. Good. Now final 1. Holding it all the way up. Extend it long. Now I want you to drive that right knee in towards your right elbow. And then extend it back out long on the diagonal. And then tapping down to the floor. Extend it up. Yes, you guys can do it. This is hard, but I want you to really control the movements. Do not swing that leg. Control the leg. Drive it in. Extend it long. And tap it down. Good. Squeeze it up. Driving in. Extend it long. Tap it down. Good. We're going to go 4 more. 4. Glutes on fire. Bring it in. Extend and tap. Good. 3. Driving in. Driving out. Tap it down. Good. 2. Squeeze. Extend. Tap. Final 1. Extend it long. Bring it in. Extend it back and hold. Now I want you to just draw little circles in one direction. Up and around. Up and around for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse the circle. Up and around. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse it out for 1, 2, 3. Let's get to 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Bring it back down to the floor. Find your weight in your hands. Let's tuck those back toes and pike the hips back into downward dog. Breathe and exhale. Pushing that chest down towards your legs, and then let's just slowly walk your feet in towards your hands to find yourself in the center of the mat. Forward fold, softening into the knees, and let's just roll it back up. Restacking the spine, 1 vertebrae at a time, all the way until we come to stand, taking a nice roll out through your shoulders. And then we're going to come onto our blocks with that right leg. I want you to grab one weight, and we're just going to do a little bit standing here, and then we'll move on to the next side, and that will be the end of the class. Okay, so place your foot onto your block. Right foot comes onto the block. Weight comes into your hands. We're going to just find a nice hinge here through the body. So hinging through the hips, keeping a nice strong core, keeping your shoulders down and back and away from your ears. Now, I want you to keep your weight in the back of your foot as much as you can. Try not to hinge into those toes. That's how we're going to get most glutes here. I want you to scoot to that left leg back and extend your arms up over your head. And then bring the shape back in. Scoot to the left leg back and squeezing in. Good. So just keeping that hinge on the block and in. Lovely. Scootering back, squeezing in, holding your core. Your core is your anchor. Good. We're going to work for 6 more scooters. 5, 4, 3, final 2. Now final 1, extend. I want you to find your lunge, hinging back into that leg and keeping your weight in your heel. Then you're going to take a twist over your right leg and squeeze into those obliques, bringing it back through the center and then squeezing back up. Arms come overhead, coming back to that hinge position. Scooter the leg back, finding your lunge. Twist over to the side, oblique crunch. Bring it back to the center, push the weight overhead and find your hinge position. So you're always staying slightly in that hinge. You're going to scooter your leg back, keep the weights where they are. Find your lunge, twist over that leg, bring it back in and coming up, pushing the weights overhead. Scooter it back, find the lunge, twist over and bring it back, pushing all the way up. Good, let's go. 4. Find the lunge, twist it over, bring it in, and pushing it up. Scooter it back, right glute is on fire. Bring it down, you guys can do it. Twist, use those obliques. Up to the top. Scooter it back, hinge it down. That's 2. Squeeze, and up. Final 1, scooter back, hinge it down. Let's just stay with that twist here for 8. Nice and controlled. 7, squeeze the abs. 6, 5, push to the end. I know it's hard. 4, 3, 2, 1. Find your center. We're just going to pulse it here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, oh my God. Woo. Give it a little shake. Drop the weight down to the mat. Let's just come to the back and take a nice reset here. Dipping down into the knees, opening up, extend your arms up towards the sky, breathing in. And as you exhale, chin comes to chest. Let's just roll it down, decompress the spine all the way to find that beautiful forward fold on the mat. Breathe, one more deep breath. And then we're going to walk those hands down along the mat. And you'll be happy to know we've got the other side to go. So now I'm going to turn this way so that my back is not facing you. I'm going to place the block underneath the left knee this time. Oh, sorry. Underneath the right knee this time. No weight for the time being. We're just going to work those glutes in this 4-point kneeling position. So coming to your core, finding a nice strong position here. Soft through the elbows. Nice and long through the spine. Extending that left leg out long behind you. We're going to find as much length as you can through that left glute and lift up from the floor. Tapping it down with control. Squeezing up, nice and soft through the upper body and strong through the lower. Good. Squeezing up. I don't want you to crack through your lower back. I want you to lengthen through your legs. We're going to create nice, long, beautiful legs here. Squeeze and tap. Let's go 8 more. 8. That right side is really fiery now, so you're going to have to push as it's the stabilizing side. 7. Squeezing 6. In 5. Push and tap. Final 4. Squeeze. Final 3. Tapping down. Final 2. Nice and long. Bring it down to the mat. Final 1. Extending it all the way out long. We're just going to pulse it out here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Holding in 1. Now we're going to drop down to that right elbow, keeping the left arm up. And I want you to open up your hips out to the side. And tapping that leg down on the diagonal, We're going to squeeze it back up, but using the glutes and using control of the leg, trying not to swing it up. Good, tap it down. Extend it out long with control. Bring it back down to the floor. Come back to your core. Come back to your position here. Squeeze and tap. Good. Squeeze it up. Tap it down. We're going to go 6 more. 6. Keep a nice rested upper body. Nice and soft. Nice and controlled. 5. 4. Good. Keep working. 3. 2. Now last one, holding it all the way up and squeeze. I want you to drive that knee in towards your left elbow. Extend it back out long on the diagonal and tap. Yes, it's burning. You guys are so strong, you have to push. Drive it in, extend it long, tapping it down. Breathe, up, drive, extend. Make sure we're not swinging those legs. We're working and squeezing the leg, driving it with control, extending it long. Tap it down. Let's go 4 more. 4. Breathe. I'm feeling it with you. And 3. Extend and tap. Final 2. Breathe. Now final 1, all the way up, drive it in, find that extension. We're going to take those little circles up and around for 8, 7, 6, breathe through it, 5, 4, 3, reverse the circle in 2, 1, reverse the circle up and around, 8, 7, 6, push, 5, 4, 3, pulse it out in 2, 1, little pulses up and down for 8, 7, 6, push through it, ladies, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, bring it down and relax. Let's tuck those back toes, pike your hips up, and find your downward dog. Really push that chest down toward your legs and just relieve that lower back here for a second. And then we're going to slowly walk the feet up towards the center of the mat and find that beautiful forward fold here. Taking a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, softening into the knees and just rolling all the way up and coming up to stand, head and shoulders. Take a nice beautiful roll at the top. Okay, last bit, guys, come on, we can do this. Let's place our left foot onto the block, grabbing one of your weights. We're just going to work those hinges and oblique twists, and then I promise that is the end. So finding a nice hinge on your block, nice and soft through your knees, strong through your feet. We're going to scoot to that right leg back and push those weights up overhead, and then bring it back in to close. Extend it back. Squeeze the weight. Bring it in. Strong through the core. Push it back. And in. Push it back. And in, nice and controlled. Extend. 6, 5, 4, breathe. 3, 2, now last one, hold it there. Now I want you to take your lunge, really hinge back into that leg, into that left leg. You're going to take that oblique twist over the left side. Squeeze it back through the center and then bring it back in. Push those weights overhead. Find that hinge position. You're going to scooter your leg back. You're going to find your lunge. You're going to twist over and bring it back. Pushing weights up overhead. Find your hinge, feet come together. Good. Hinging the leg back. Finding your lunge. Over your twist. Bring it back in. And push it back up. Good, come on guys, we've got 6. Lunge, twist, squeeze it back, and push it up. Good, hinge that leg. Find your lunge, twist it over, Bring it back nice and strong through the core. Your core is your anchor. It's going to support you here. Use it to support your back. Twist. Forward. Push. Let's go for 3. Hinge. Come on, ladies. Twist. Bring it back. And up. 2. Lunge. Twist. Back. Push. Final one. We're finding that lunge. We're going to stay with that twist for 8. 7. Breathe through it. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Find the center. Let's pulse it for 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. Oh, that glute is absolutely dead, but you'll be happy to know that all of the hard work is done. You can kick the block away. We're just going to stretch out the important muscles, and then you are all finished. So taking a nice reset, dipping down into the legs, open up, extend, breathing in, and then as you breathe out, chin comes to chest, rolling it down, all the way to forward fold. Let's walk those hands down along your mat. Pike your hips up into downward dog. Just take a pedal out through your legs. Extending one leg, bending into the other. Switch, extend and bend. Switch. And switch. Good. And then pushing your weight down into your right heel. Let's sweep that left leg up into a 3-legged dog. Find that beautiful extension. And then sweeping your leg through, getting your left knee towards your left wrist, and just hinging down through the hips into your pigeon pose. Keeping that chest up towards the ceiling for now. Allowing that left glute to just relax. Mine was definitely feeling tight there at the end. And then let's walk those hands forward over that left leg. And relax, placing your head down towards your forearms. And just taking a few breaths here. Bringing yourself back down to reality. Good, let's go one more deep breath in. And breathing out. Relax as low as you can go for today's class. Good, when you're ready, placing your weight in your hands, tucking your back toes, and then pike those hips up, back to find your downward dog. Good, and then over to the left side, weight in the left foot. Let's sweep that right leg back up into 3-legged dog. Finding that beautiful stretch, and then sweeping the leg through, right knee to your right wrist, and then let's just sink those hips down into pigeon pose, extending your chest up and away from the floor, opening up through your heart, and then when you're ready, slowly folding forward over that front leg. Head comes down to your forearms on the mat, and just take a few breaths here to relax. Relax the body and breathe. One more deep breath in, breathing in, and breathe out. Relax as low as you can go for today's class. When you're ready, finding your weight in your hands, tucking your back toes, and then piking those hips up into downward dog. Final downward dog of today. When you're ready, we're going to lift both heels off the floor and just ripple forward to find your high plank, and then sink your hips down into the mat and find that upward dog. Breathe. Extend out through that core, extend out through that lower back. Soft through your elbows and through your shoulders. Let's take one nice look over the right side. And then look over the left side. And then straight back through the middle, all the way back. Extend as much as you can. And then when you're ready, pushing those hips back, knees go wide, and let's just find a child's pose. Relax the body down to the mat. And when you're ready, we're just going to walk up to sit on our feet. And we'll just take our 3 grounding breaths here for today. Taking a nice deep breath in, sweeping those arms up and overhead. Extend up towards the sky. And then breathe out, hands come down by your chest. And again, breathing in, extend, opening it up. And breathing out. And then final one, breathing it in, extend. Hands come down through prayer and into your heart space. Feel free to close down your eyes. And just take a moment here to be silent on your mat for about 10 seconds or so. And just come back down to stillness and back to reality. And when you're ready, taking one final deep inhale. And breathe it all out. Good. Feel free to open up your eyes, maybe taking one final roll out of your shoulders, and you are all done. Well done for making it through that class. That was really good. Definitely one of my personal favorites. So thank you for joining me, and I can't wait to see you in the next class.